Dentists have dismissed the government's proposal to save the sector, saying a new recovery plan for England just isn't enough. Hundreds of dentists will be given £20,000 each to work in so-called dental deserts, where NHS treatment is virtually impossible to find. Well, the government says the plan will result in an extra 2.5 million appointments. But for some, any extra help has come too late. Here's our health correspondent Rebecca Barry on the effort to fix the gaping gap in dental care.
It got so painful and so wobbly, I just started pulling them out.
Just looking in the mirror is now difficult for Caroline. After 3 years searching for an NHS dentist, she resorted to pulling out 12 of her teeth.
I have so much experience, so much that I could give to other people. I feel like I can't do that because I can't smile. I can't be me. Sorry.
This is why the government's announced its long-awaited dental recovery plan. It promises to create an extra 2.5 million dentist appointments next year. NHS dentists will get between £15 and £50 to see new patients who haven't seen a dentist in at least 2 years. And they'll be offered £20,000 to work in places where there's a shortage of NHS dentists.
We're speaking to Caroline from Scunthorpe. She's pulled out 12 of her own teeth with pliers because she can't get an NHS dentist. It's just disgraceful that's happening in 21st century Britain.
Yeah, and look, somebody in that amount of pain must always remember that if they need to, then they can go to their local accident and emergency ward to get help, because that should not be happening.
But it is happening under the watch of the Conservative government.
And so this is why, with the dental recovery plan, we are focusing on getting dental vans out to those areas that don't have practices at the moment.
Dentists say the current target-driven NHS contract needs to be changed. Under the system, they're paid the same if someone needs 3 fillings or 20. So without major reform of the contract, critics say this is just a sticking plaster.
This is a short-term fix. Might sort out a toothache, it'll do a temporary filling, an extraction, yes, but that's short-term stuff. It's not enough. If we're getting anywhere near the sort of standards and requirements that patients want and what a healthy society expects.
If you're angry, please be angry and express that to the government.
This is the problem laid bare, people queuing in Bristol in the hope of registering for a new NHS dentist.
I found a private place that would let you pay in instalments and this kind of thing, but I'm told it's going to be thousands.
So many people doesn't really have the money to pay for the private dentist.
Labour say the government's only promising to do something now because there's an election coming.
Well, it's a real problem, isn't it? It's a problem that affects everybody.
Yeah, and as well as the money, the government says that it wants to send out dental vans to areas where there's a shortage of dentists, and it also wants to add fluoride to water supplies to help prevent tooth decay. The dentists that I've spoken to say that is a good idea, but there is no doubt that this issue will be huge out on the doorsteps during a general election campaign. The stats are shocking. 1 in 6 children have rotten teeth, and tooth decay is the #1 reason that children end up in hospital. Today, when I asked the Health Secretary whether she'd managed to find an NHS dentist, she repeatedly avoided the question.